Hey everyone, I'm back. Hope everyone had a happy Diwali and was a really festive month. We saw some crazy numbers on consumption in India, exciting phase in M&A as well, which is kind of what we have up for you today. We are proudly going to announce one of our own, Locus, which got acquired by none other than the IKEA parent company, Ingka. And then we have yet another interesting sort of pet space acquisition, Wager, however you pronounce it. And then there's an EdTech acquisition, a group called Veranda, which is actually acquiring assets, now is kind of divesting assets. And then we have yet another, interestingly, kind of very similar to Locus. We have a company called NextBillion.ai, which was equally sort of a well-funded startup like Locus, also seems to have found a home. So those are the four acquisitions we'll be speaking about. And I just wanted to touch upon an interesting anecdote on what's happening in the banking sector. So we're seeing some really large moves by overseas acquirers into the Indian banks. And not all of them are acquisitions in that sense, but it's a nice overlap between acquisitions and secondaries, and I will touch upon that right at the end. So let's go. So I don't know how many of you have met Nishith, Rastogi and Geet, Garg, are founders at Locus. It's a Fund 2 company, one of our hottest companies at one point. I wish they had become a unicorn, which is a nice sort of like marker for value creation. They tried hard. They became a global company. They had global customers. They raised a lot of money and had a lot of promise, built some really, really cool technology. At one point, we used to brag that they had the highest number of PhDs per employee base inside of the Blume company, Blume portfolio. And before AI became fashionable, a lot of what they did in terms of routing and logistics and route planning, dynamic route planning, like literally if there was a big basket truck on the road and there was a traffic jam, new order, they could actually reroute the truck. And that was one of their first customers, I remember. So they grew out of that, those pilot Indian customers and went to Europe and to North America and to other parts of Asia. And obviously got noticed in Europe. And they've been working with IKEA. And Ingka, which is the parent company of IKEA, has been the one that's been investing into strategic assets. So Locus used to enable this AI-driven dispatch, route planning, delivery slotting, live tracking, last mile orchestration for retailers, brands. That was their primary business. Founded 2015, headquartered in the US, most operations still in India. And then after us, there was Tiger Global, Qualcomm, GIC, AlphaWave were all investors after Blume. And then they got acquired. Unfortunately, we can't disclose the purchase price. I wouldn't say it was like a crazy price. I think it was, closer to somewhere in that vicinity of the $100 million mark. I'll give you enough of a clue and leave it there. And everyone was bought out. I think the team will be given incentives to continue building this for Ingka. It was a fantastic team, so hopefully they will get the benefit of this. But from what little we know from both press reports and us being a portfolio company and watching this transaction unfold over the last 6 months, IKEA thinks they can save 100 million euros just in optimisation. And the proportion of online sales in IKEA in the last 5 years alone has gone from like 11% to 28%. So this is what makes, then it starts making sense when almost 30% of your business is actually oriented towards home delivery, installation, customer service, and sort of optimizing that. Also, fun fact around IKEA, they and their parent have had some really funky M&A history. Recently, they bought like 153 hectares of forest in Latvia and Estonia for about 720 million euros. So, it shows that you need everything from literally the wood for making your furniture. And on the other hand, they also acquired a 3D room scanning and augmented reality place like IKEA furniture in your home technology. So that's basically what people need to buy the end product. Their founder passed away recently, but basically one of the most privately guarded, large private companies in the world, Swedish, as you know. If you've ever walked into an IKEA, you'll see the words greeting you as HEJ, which is simply hey in Swedish. And yeah, it's fantastic to see Indian technology be worthy of this world-class company. So that's a proud moment for us. Goodbye to Locus from the portfolio. And similarly, talk about what else has been happening in the ecosystem outside of Locus. Welcome back to the October summary of secondary transactions. And so now what's becoming a steady trend line, according to me, and I've been saying this repeatedly, and I will continue to drive home the point, is that we are seeing tremendous second when a company is getting closer to profitability or closer to going public. So this is where most of the action is. There is a lot of demand from larger buyers who don't get enough ownership. So they want to buy primary, they want to buy a bit of secondary to consolidate their stake. Usually these companies are, have spent 7, 8, 9, 10 years in the hands of an existing investor. So people are actually willing to sell some and take some money off the table. In some cases, it's founders. We have all colors, flavors, variants today in the secondary section. So let's get going. The first of which, again, very proudly, is a Blume portfolio company. So this is not like a gigantic $1 billion kind of story. It's at closer to 1,000 crores. So since the information is public, I'll tell you it's in the vicinity of 1,000 crores. So A91 is our new co-investor into IntrCity. IntrCity runs the country's largest fleet of private buses under a common umbrella brand. It's a very interesting model. We work with bus owners to not own the assets, but kind of underwrite the capacity on the assets. And that helps us keep a very interesting asset-light model where we have 85+% capacity utilization and run a fantastic network of almost 500 buses in this country. And growing super well. Last year was a bumper year, 500 crores of revenue almost. And this year it will be even better, but I'll wait for them to break the surprise when they reach March. We've had a fantastic first half of the year. So A91 is super excited, wants to buy into the business. We didn't want more than 75 to 100 crores. They wanted a significant ownership. So in the vicinity of 1,000 crores, a 250 crore round which got announced means that they have about 20% of the business. So they were eager to buy more and buy into the company, position the company for an IPO, say 2 to 3 years from now. So what do? You don't want to take that much dilution because you don't need that much money. And so about 100 crores of this actually gets done as secondary. And the investors in the business predominantly is one Valley fund, which was preceded us in this case, small fund. Then it was us, Blume. There was Helion, which has since started retiring its funds. Omidyar, which has also started kind of moving to Prana and retiring its funds. And Nandan Nilekani in his personal capacity before Fundamentum started. An interesting anecdote in this company is the last 3-4 rounds of this company have been done by all the same set of investors. So we've been in the company for almost 7 to 10 years each. The investor base has not changed in the last 5-6 years. So of course, to take some capital off the table is not necessarily a bad idea. So that's kind of what happened here to make the deal happen and make everyone happy. We still have upside. We want this company to look like an outstanding IPO a few years from now. But we all got some secondary capital off the table as well. So that was IntrCity. That was one of ours.